Hi, it's Chris at the Quilter's Nook, and it's time for another Studio 180 design technique. And today we're going to talk about a new tool, and it's a square squared tool. And this tool makes these wonderful square and a square blocks. And the nice thing about this is everything is made oversized, and we're going to trim it down to the perfect size, just like all of our other tools. So on this tool, there are two sections. This section here is where we're going to pre-trim our center square, because that center square is a little off, and I'll show you that. The other side is what we're going to trim our square with, okay? So on this tool are your directions. So for your side triangles, like I'm going to make a 4-inch block. So I'm going to take 3 1/4 inch triangles, 2 of them, and subcut them once diagonally. Okay, that's going to give me my 4 triangles. For the center square, this square is ugly math, for lack of a better word. And Deb has taken the ugly math out of it so that we can trim these and make them perfect. So for a 4-inch finished square, it says center square for a 4-inch finished block. And if you go around the corner, it says cut from a 3 1/2 inch strip. So I have a 3 1/2 inch strip right here. And I'm going to use this to trim up my blocks. And as you can see, there's just a little bit there. And you're like, oh, I can do that with a regular ruler. No, this little extra is bigger than an 1/8, but smaller than a 1/4. And trying to find that on a regular ruler, it just doesn't exist. So that's why we always trim up our squares, our center squares, with this tool. And you can do it with just squares, and then you trim 2 sides. But if you're using making multiple blocks, I just use a strip and cut along one side, cut across the top, and now my square is the perfect size to make this square and a square unit. When we do a square and a square, I like to take my triangles and put them face up, and my square and put it face down, so we have right sides together. When we sew, we're going to sew with the square on top, because we just took the time to precision cut it. So we want to maintain that precision throughout the whole process. So you're going to always sew with the square on top. So you're going to line it up just kind of equidistant on both sides. Nothing crazy. We're going to trim and sew your 1/4 inch seam. And then you're going to go across the other side and do the same thing. Okay, sew your 1/4 inch seam. Then you're going to press towards the triangles, and you're going to have this. Okay, then we're going to do the other 2 sides. And same thing. Square on top, right sides together. Sew that 1/4 inch. And then we're going to line this one up, and we're going to sew that 1/4 inch. And when you press those out, you get this little guy. Now we're going to trim. And so we're going to turn our ruler around, and we're going to use all these X's. And these X's are going to help us figure out the size we want. I'm doing a 4-inch finished, so my X's are going to line up more or less with my seam allowance right around my square. And you can see we have room to trim all the way around. So we're going to trim up and across, turn him around, and then we're going to use the 4 1/2 inch cleanup lines. Your square is still within your number 4s. And there you go. You have a nice square and a square block. And you can put these together, and you can make nice rows. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with them. Next time we're going to do, it's called little houses. And we're going to do the same thing, very similar that we just did. And I'll show you some extra things that you can do with them. So stay tuned until next time.